This week, Techopia Live is going remote. We're talking to Welbi CEO Elizabeth Audette-Bourdeau about her recent victory at a pitchfest in Silicon Valley and how the company's platform is adapting to the COVID-19 pandemic. That's this week on Techopia Live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Techopia Live. I'm your host, Craig Lord, and we're actually in my bedroom. This is a strange setting, a first for Techopia Live. We are going fully remote. You probably know why if you're watching this. We're practicing social distancing to prevent and stem the spread of COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. Hope that everybody out there watching is feeling okay, that you're able to work from home. And if you're isolating, that you're able to get what you need. But we didn't want to stop our content, our business tips, because concerns around the future of businesses, especially fledgling tech startups like the ones we cover, are very much in jeopardy right now. And we wanted to give as much content as possible to help you get through these difficulties. So going to be going remote for a few weeks, but we hope you'll stay with us on the journey as we try to return to some normalcy around here. This week, joining us, we've got two very special guests. First, I want to introduce Elizabeth Audette-Bourdeau from Welbi.
Hey, Craig. Thank you so much for having me. I know it's a tough situation, but you know what? We'll adapt to it.
Exactly. Adaptation is something we're going to be talking about a lot in this episode. And joining us from one of our sponsors, Stratford Managers, is Natalie Giroux. Natalie, could you tell us a bit about Stratford?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for having me on the show as well. Stratford Managers is a management consulting firm. We've been operating for over 10 years. And Stratford includes a full-service patent agency, which I've been leading. So my expertise is intellectual property.
And we are going to talk a little bit about how IP can be best protected and things you want to keep in mind as your startup is growing a little bit later in the episode. Specifically, we've got Elizabeth from Welbi here today because you were recently on an interesting trip down to Silicon Valley to pitch at the SoGal Foundation pitch competition. Elizabeth, for those that don't know about Welbi specifically, can you tell us a bit about the platform?
Yeah, for sure. So we've built a platform for retirement homes. We are supporting the recreation teams into engaging the residents, getting them out of their room, reducing social isolation. Obviously, right now with the situation, we've been supporting the recreation teams into still engaging the resident while they are staying in their room. So for us, it's very important to continuously engage the residents, because a big thing that happens is the resident will stay in their room, they will not be engaged and socially isolated, and this is going to impact their health. So for us at Welbi is how do we support the teams within the retirement home, especially right now with this big crisis and when people are in danger, and how do we protect all of them, but while still being able to participate into activities.
Yeah, exactly. Social isolation is something that a lot of people can relate to in this very moment, but not something that maybe we're as cognizant of as, you know, if we don't have a family member directly in one of these facilities suffering from social isolation on a daily basis. Very interesting to hear about how you're pivoting, though, to help to address, adapting to these issues as this phenomenon is sweeping through the world. I want to take us back just to the end of February, before we were all shut down in our bedrooms, when you were heading down to Silicon Valley for the SoGal Foundation pitch competition. Can you describe a little bit about what that experience was like, actually making it down to San Francisco to pitch?
Yeah, for sure. So pretty much how it started is it was a competition in Ottawa. We were the only chapter in Canada, won this pitch competition, and then I went on to represent Canada with two other startups, one from Ottawa and one from Montreal, to pitch live at the final global competition. There were 25 countries represented under 60 startups, and we pitched on stage. And on top of the pitch events, there were also a boot camp. So we got to be with the other 60 founders for 3 days before, really share all our knowledge, really help each other out, really support each other. And I loved it because it was the top 60 female founders from all over the world getting together to really help each other out and learn from each other. And that was awesome. And we ended up pitching and winning one of the investment from the SoGal venture. So that was very exciting for us. And I'm so happy to now be back and have represented Canada at this global competition.
A big congratulations there. I believe the first ever Canadian winner for a SoGal Ventures pitchfest. So big representation. Well done, Elizabeth, and the whole Welbi team there.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk a little bit about what companies in your position might want to do in terms of their intellectual property strategy. You know, having just logged down a little bit of investment, carrying that forward. Natalie, I think this is an ideal time to bring you in. What are some of the things surrounding an IP strategy you want to think about as you might be starting to court investors for your startup?
Yeah, so as Elizabeth was mentioning, and by the way, congratulations on winning. That's quite an achievement. And yes. So now that you have a bit of money, I think the key things to think about are your trademarks, which is already taken care of, which is great. And then maybe think later about maybe moving your trademarks in other countries. But the key for your type of platform is to make sure that you take the time to log your trade secrets. So if you're developing, novel machine learning or any kind of novel algorithms, it's important to keep a log of them, and so that you can show the value to your investors later on. It's not to say that down the road you might want to patent something in your platform, but the key at your stage is to make sure you handle your trade secrets properly. That would be my advice.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Excellent advice for any of the startups that are watching right now to know the value of a trade secret as you are rapidly developing solutions, trying to target as many people as possible. And Elizabeth, I'll go back to you for one more question because I'm curious what happens now for Welbi. You were one of our tech firms we picked to watch. I don't want to say called it on the pitch fest, but we know how to pick them. I'm curious how you're going to carry through the momentum from this. A little bit of funding, some new connections. What comes next in 2020 for Welbi?
Well, obviously, we've had to adapt. When we got back from San Francisco, that's when the whole coronavirus situation started. To be honest, I feel like we were kind of lucky in this whole scenario where I was coming down from San Francisco where the crisis had already started. So when I got home, the team started actually working remotely as of March 2nd. So we were a bit ahead of time and we knew this was coming. And for us, it's how do we adapt our platform to really continue to support the rec managers, and even more right now. Before they were overwhelmed, but right now they're even more overwhelmed by everything with the families that don't have access to retirement home. How do we give them access to the right information about their loved ones so that we can support them into knowing what's going on while the doors are closed? So for us, I think it's a bigger opportunity. I think in every crisis, there's always an opportunity to take it, take the crisis and turn it into something positive for the company. And that's what we're trying to do. But not only for the company, it's mainly having an impact into the senior's life. That's why we started Welbi. And for me right now, to know that we have the potential and we have the team to really go in and support these retirement homes and these teams in the middle of a crisis is definitely motivating for everyone. And we will adapt to the situation, but definitely 2020 will be a big year for us, and we'll make sure that it is a positive year.
Really appreciate that kind of attitude. It's a demoralizing time out there for most businesses, for most families who are unsure of what's going to happen to them, to their elderly family members. So really appreciate hearing that from you, the kind of attitude Welbi's taking into things to adapt and keep the momentum from this pitch fest going through the crisis. So wonderful to hear that, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining us for the episode today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Again, I think we, as a community, we just got to all help each other out. And I think we've got the right community for this.
For sure. Especially here in Ottawa, a closely knit tech community.
Yes.
Natalie, thank you as well for joining us for this week's Techopia Live. Before I let you go, I want to take a quick moment and thank some of our sponsors without whom Techopia Live would not be possible. I want to start with Number Crunch, offering virtual CFO services for SaaS firms. There's TD Bank, offering specialized programs for tech firms. There's Pearlie Robertson Hilda McDougall, a leader in business and tech law. There's the University of Ottawa Faculty of Engineering, creating the next generation of technical talent. There's KRP Properties, offering so much more than just space. Of course, we have Natalie here today from Stratford Managers, offering services like IP strategies to help you scale up your tech venture. Now, Techopia Live is not just this fantastic show. We're also available online with daily articles covering Ottawa's tech scene and the response to the COVID-19 pandemic on obj.ca/Techopia. You can also watch another video panel series that we've got going this week, Coping with COVID-19, where publisher Michael Curran is talking to some business leaders, especially in the professional services sector, to help you know what you need to do to adapt your business through the pandemic. And you can also follow us for daily updates on social, on Facebook and Twitter at Techopia OTT. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please leave us a like and a comment and subscribe to see more of our Wiki Tech interviews. Apart from that, thank you very much for joining us for this week's remote episode of Techopia Live. We hope you're staying safe out there. We hope that your businesses are surviving through this and that we'll all be a little bit better off on the other side. So stay tight, and we hope to see you for the next episode. Thank you very much.